Julie, what minute?
Well, I was just glad for all that fuss about job. Now last year it was only like 30%.
Yeah? No, no. You got a chart? Yeah, that's.
I believe.
No, yeah. No. Okay. I'd like to have you stand up yet again. All right, thank you. I'd like to call the Algonquin Township Board meeting for December 13th, 2017. Call the regular meeting to order. We have a pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you for attending. If I could please have the clerk call the roll.
Trustee Shay.
Sure.
Trustee Lawrence. Here. Trustee Victor. Here. Trustee Chapman.
Here.
Supervisor Lorenzo.
Here. Okay. I'd like to see if we can get a motion to approve the monthly minutes of November 8th, 2017. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion?
Yes, I have never received any minutes.
I emailed them this afternoon.
Your email, is that the email that was sent at 4:40 p.m. today?
Sure was.
Okay, well, I haven't received it.
Well, you got it right in front of you.
In this agenda?
It is in the meeting packet.
Wow. You were present at the last meeting, weren't you?
Yeah, but it was the meeting before. When I wasn't here, I was flying.
But you were here at November 8th. Correct?
Yes,
So then we need to amend that to show that you were present.
the comment I believe that you made was that the previous month it didn't show that I was there. Is that right?
No.
No, I'm talking about today's
Oh,
meeting minutes.
okay.
It shows that you were not in attendance.
I was not. I was excused on November 8th.
So both you and, okay.
So I need to add Melissa in there. Because I was going off the, roll call.
Oh, I was here. Yeah, you're right. I was here.
Yeah, you were
That was
here, Melissa
October.
was here the one
Right.
before that.
Correct.
Right. So I need to add Dave in.
Thank you.
We need any kind of motion to do that? Or add that right now? Okay. Any other changes? I know you just got this, so.
Everything I said was right.
How can you remember from a month ago? All right, so we have that amendment to the,
Okay.
motion, and I think we would have to see a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the monthly minutes passed. We have speakers are welcome to address the board for 3 minutes. We have a podium, we have a signing sheet. You do not have to go to the podium if you would not like to. If you're not on the signing sheet, do not worry about it. We still are going to recognize anybody who would like to speak, but so it's more convenient for you to do that. All we ask that you do is introduce yourself, give us your address and town you live in, and then we'd be happy to hear your comments. I'd ask that we try to keep them positive and not have a lot of, let's leave it at that. Let's make sure that we have a nice, productive public comments, and we take them to heart. And we appreciate you coming in this cold weather. So if you want to grab a sign sheet, oh, do we have it? Oh, okay. And then if you're not on the sign sheet, we're not going to exclude you. So we just want to make sure.
Chuck, something should be said, and I understand that some of the residents thought that there should be feedback coming from the board during this comment period. You want to address that?
We typically just listen to the comments.
Okay, but after it's done, we should communicate back with the residents that brought up the concern.
We can talk to them after the meeting. Anyways, can we start out with Carl Gustafson? If I butchered your name, I'm sorry, sir.
Carl Gustafson, I'm Nation Gardens. I spoke last month. I'm going to speak again to the same issue because of my understanding that the issue of the amended budget for the road district is going to be discussed, and I understand after talking to us on that, it will actually be voted on next month meeting. But I just I know that Ms. Victor not here last, so I want to reiterate that what our concern is Edwards Road Bridge, which contract for the construction has been signed. Mr. Gosser and Ms. Lukasik, 2 weeks ago, roughly. And just want to reiterate that this is not a frivolous bridge. This is a life safety issue. Right now, the residents that live on the island that's created that this bridge accesses has been deemed unfit for anything over 8 tons, which means the fire department no longer crosses that bridge. There are backup plans if one of the houses on that island is affected by fire. But anyway, the bridge is going to happen, but it's possible that there might be some additional funds required from the township. The county's paying for most of the bridges, I understand it, and we can discuss that as you discussed the budget amendment next month. But this needs to be done, and as I said last month, I just want to hope that you all put aside any political differences. And in fact, I'll read it again. Ms. Victor, in her write-up on the township website, states that her goals in office are to address the needs of the community while maintaining infrastructure. That's exactly what this bridge is. And so I just, now and next month, give us a thought.
Thank you very much. Nick Tricos.
Good evening. My name is Nick Chirikas. I reside at 10075 North River Road in Algonquin Township, where I have lived since 1976. I come before you tonight in both a spirit of concern and one of hopefulness. My concerns are many regarding our local township government, and in particular, its road district. Once a vibrant and well-functioning organization which almost had unanimous support of its residents, it has devolved into a chaotic, factious, and deeply conflicted state. This change occurred suddenly upon the election of a new board and road commissioner, so it's fair to assume that this discord was the result of that election. The voters spoke, and I welcome any reasonable inquiry which the newly elected wish to pursue, but I look with grave suspicion on extended legal autopsies of the former road commissioner as damaging to the present and the future budgets of the township. Mr. Miller's service was paid at a rate commensurate with his knowledge and experience. As with most wage earners, the pay was low at the start of his career with the road district and increased as his years of service and knowledge increased. Not so with the newly installed road commissioner. With his election, Mr. Gasser assumed the fully developed salary of a 30-plus year veteran road commissioner without so much as a day's worth of experience in this highly technical position. I do not mean to fault Mr. Gasser in this. Rather, I wish to point out with a glaring inconsistency in the electoral process of the position itself. Whatever Mr. Gasser's intentions are concerning the future of Algonquin Township, the position of road commissioner should be an appointed position, hiring dependent upon and paid according to the experience, knowledge, and formal training of that candidate. The consistency of the road system, the safety of the general public, and the integrity of the office of road commissioner demands nothing less. Now for the hopeful part. I'm hopeful that the township board can find a way to reduce Mr. Gasser's salary to coincide with his level of experience as commissioner of roads. Barring that, I maintain hope that a future board will abolish the position of an elected road commissioner and adopt a policy whereby this position is properly vetted and a properly prepared candidate is hired to serve at the pleasure of the Algonquin Township Board. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Judy, Akio, open the.
Actually, Carl, I also.
You like the caps?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jacob too.
Okay. And then is there a Pam?
Yes. I'm
Back-
also
wait.
with Carl Garden, so I'll pass also.
Okay, thank you. And is Jim passing too?
Yes.
Okay. We have Cal Skinner.
I would like this board to consider returning to the way it handled discussion of legal matters. The prior board, you did not go into executive session to discuss legal matters. At least, I mean, there's no requirement that you do so. And since that is probably the main reason that most people are here, it seems to me that taking this out into the cold wouldn't be as good a strategy as just letting everything hang out.
Thank you very much. Okay. I know some people didn't sign in. Gentlemen, if you would like to speak, your name, sir, and.
My name is Mike.
Thank you.
Caller. I make this short and sweet. I found it very appalling last time that there was a question brought up about how close you are to the 10%. And the answer of we don't know was given. And a vote of affirmative was still given after a don't know. Because you didn't have calculators. So if I may.
Well, you know what? I really appreciate that. And,
A second one can't hurt.
that's right. Yeah, we had it down here today. We made sure we had calculators. I know we're not supposed to stop. We make sure we had calculators. And we even brought a calculator for them to run the calculator. So, anyway. Anyone else would like to speak, please? Please. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. And thank you for your participation. And I would like to find what I would like to do next. Now I need a calculator. I need someone else to do the same. Okay. Would like to entertain a motion to pay the claims of the town fund of $98,093.99. We're eliminating a number of bills that were in the reimbursement for travel at the beginning. It'll be recommitted after our budget hearing because we are at that level where we're above budget. We need to do that. So we're eliminating, if you'd like I can go by my line, or trustees are okay with that? We'll just pass the motion for $98,093.99.
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
Second.
yes, please, discussion.
Discussion, I'm just curious about the retirement contribution here. For the 21,000, for the $100.
So,
Can you explain that to me?
so that's in the road and bridge. So all that is.
Okay, if it's a road and bridge, what, can you bring that up in the road and bridge?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion, any other discussion? Okay, roll call?
Shay,
Yes?
Lawrence,
Yes.
Victor, yes. Chapman?
Yes.
Swenson?
Yes. So we had a motion that passed for $98,093.99 for the town fund. We have another motion that I would like to get, receive a motion for the general assistance fund, of $11,370. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Shay?
Yes.
Lawrence? Yes. Victor? Yes. Chapman?
Yes.
Swenson?
Yes. Okay, I'd like to motion, receive the claims of the road and bridge fund in the amount of $198,556.22. Can I get a motion?
For purpose of discussion, I'll move.
I'll second it.
Okay, and now we need any discussion? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, well,
Trustee Victor, please.
okay, well, I'm having a hard time with this contribution, the IMRF contribution. I'm having a hard time because I thought that's supposed to be on.
So what that pays the IRS for all the employees.
Right.
of the district. If you go all the way to the back of that annual report, there's a separate fund for IRF.
What's IMRF?
But it's reserved.
I just, for our residents.
Illinois.
Illinois
It's
Municipal.
a pension fund.
Right.
I don't know what you're referring to as far as the reserve.
Okay, so I'm just confused because I
So-
thought we're not supposed to be thinking of that. I thought that's supposed to be.
No, it's a totally separate levy, and we were supposed to be taking the money that we were giving IMRF out of that, but it was a county error, picked the wrong line. So that one was budgeted for $100, which means that they never use it.
Isn't that a placeholder though, to where money can then go into, in case there's an emergency?
I don't understand why they
Okay.
do that.
Because you need to have someplace that you can transfer the funds into in order to then pay out those funds.
Well, it was always coming out of the IMRF fund. I don't know what the line item is, but it's all the way at the end. It's a totally separate fund. Jim can elaborate more on it.
I'm not sure why the accounting changed, but IMRF is the township has the road district rather has a separate levy for IMRF. And that's by statute established, that was probably established 40 years ago. And so we levy for those funds, and instead of taking them out of the road district's general tax fund, they created a separate fund, which they can pay it down, or pay the contribution for the employees, IMRF, which the township participates in, and yes, since, why the accounting change, I don't know. I get to know for Ryan and seen that, so I can't talk about it.
It's probably just an error in
It starts
that
like,
We just
go and
discussed.
search the line item to assign. We picked the very first one, which was IMRF. I don't know why it's in the budget. I don't know why it's in there. We're not using it. So I think that it was selected by a mistake.
sort of the funds then coming out of that instead of line
there's a line item for the IMRF
So,
that we normally pay out of.
And that's not like a special
So-
fund?
oh, there's a
Yeah, you
special
can't do
fund.
that.
There is a
It's
fund.
not.
No, not at all. That's a restricted fund. It can only be used to pay IMR. So I think I understand what Ryan's saying is there's a error in the actual today's reports. Is that correct?
Data entry.
Yes. And that those, that deduction should be coming out of that special fund line item. Is that right? Is that what you're- okay. And that payment's gonna be made, it's just that it's incorrectly accounted for.
So all I would do is go in and change the plan. And then I bring you a report.
We just had a township come in for a couple hours the other day, so.
So these funds are really coming out of that
Right.
special fund account,
Correct.
not out of the line that's currently. Okay.
Um,
Any other discussion?
I can't even remember the discussion, about the engineering services. Is that, for the special road projects, are we moving forward? Andrew?
Can I speak? I want to make sure.
Yes, you can speak.
Thank you. So for our engineering, what that was is, as we know, we had the Dennis Avenue disaster, and that was a really expensive engineering bill. So we had to pay that to get that done. And then we had engineering for our Edwards Road Bridge. Now, we're still expecting those funds to be reimbursed from the county. So everything that we're spending on that will be reimbursed for Edwards Road Bridge. And then we also had some engineering done on 1 or 2 flood issues that we had and we corrected earlier in the year, and that's what that is, and I think that's why that's over. I will tell you that we didn't put in the construction for our other projects that we're doing this year. I'm going to put that in next month after we have our amended budget process, but that's why the engineering is the way it is. Yes, sir.
But even the engineering fees for the Dennis Road, it was like 30% above normal. Why was it so high?
Because it was an emergency and we had to do it very quickly. Normally, I can tell you we're doing the Kings Bridge subdivision next year as our major road project, and that total engineering for that entire subdivision is going to be about $30,000. The other thing that was really hard about this, Trustee Chapman, was that it involved water. And whenever you start doing that, you're bringing in the Army Corps, you're bringing in everybody else, and you've got to make sure that it was an emergency, number one, but you're talking about wetlands now, and IDNR wants to come in, and everybody wants to take that slice of the pie to make sure that you're not destroying the environment or doing anything like that. So that's why with the Dennis Avenue project, it was expensive, and I don't think anybody denied that, but because it was an emergency and because it had the water involved, that's what really bumped that project up. Yep.
What I'm most concerned about is I do understand the community projects that we need to do, and thank you for speaking earlier, because I do understand that, and I know that Edwards Bridge needs. I know there are other projects that need to be handled, but my main concern is that we're spending all this money and we don't have them in the line items. So, we're supposed to always stay under 100%. But my concern is that we're at like 433%, even though we're getting some of this money back. Can we be spending and writing checks out when we don't have the money in our line, and we don't have the money there to pay it in our accounts, in our budget, and our line items? It shows that we're over by so much. So that's where my concern is. Not that the project's getting done. My concern is that we're over. I'm seeing all these numbers here that, we're way over budget.
Hey, can I answer that?
Yeah.
So what I would say is the last engineering that we approved was 2 months ago. So it's been like this for a while. Number two is we need to have that amended budget. And that will bring that back into line. And that way we can pay for this engineering. The third thing I would say is that we're doing actually very well. I talked to a couple other highway commissioners. They're sitting at 65, 70% of their annual budget spent. And right now, even with all of our spending that we've had, we're at 56.1%. And what's happening here is everybody builds their budgets differently. What works for one highway commissioner might not work good for another highway commissioner. So they might think they need more in the bridge maintenance instead of the road maintenance, or they might need more in engineering than they do in salary. And so what we're doing is we're working with the budget that we've got, but we have the money there, but it's not in the correct line item. So I agree with you with that. And that's why it's so important that we have this amended budget next month, because when that happens, it'll bring all these numbers back into line, and we'll be able to go ahead and execute these projects, and we'll be able to make our budget balanced again. Like I said, right now, in the budget that we had inherited and adopted, it was 2.553 million, and we've spent 1.4 million. And so with all the spending that we've had going on right now, we still have 1.12 million in our bank, and we're not going out there to go and just burn through it. We've actually been really judicious with how we've done it, and we're going to continue to go down that path. And that's why I'm really looking forward to having the budget, amended budget put forward, and looking forward to answering those questions. Does that answer?
It answers it a little bit. I'm still just concerned that we don't have, because the numbers that you're showing, that you're talking to me about, aren't the numbers that I'm seeing. So that's why it's concerning. Because I see 433%. I don't see these other numbers that you're talking about.
It's on page
so-
3, ma'am, at the bottom. It says right there at the bottom, it says that it's
Right, but there's so many different line items that are,
no, there's only actually 3 that are over
environmental
budget.
services, 109.
There's 3, but if you look at our total overall, we're under. So what we have here is again, how someone wants to build their budget will be different than how I want to build my budget, right? So we have to flex to that. And again, what you're paying for, especially when it comes to the engineering, we're paying for the Dennis Avenue. We paid that up front, and it's already done. And that's why it's even more important, like I said, next month, that we have that budget hearing so that we can make sure that we finish paying off that engineering. And then also as the county starts reimbursing us, you'll see that also go down.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, we have a roll call.
Shay?
Yes.
Lawrence? Yes. Victor?
Yes.
Chapman?
Yes.
Bledsoe?
Yes. Okay, I'd like to get a motion to audit the claims of the road and bridge fund of 198. Oh,
Women.
equipment and building? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I need more than a calculator, bud. All right, I'd like to get a motion to audit the claims of the equipment and building fund in the amount of $186,078.72. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, no discussion, roll call, please.
Shay?
Yes.
Lawrence? Yes. Victor? Chapman?
Yes.
Bledsoe?
Yes. Okay. We're gonna do the audit. We need to adopt 2016, 2017. We need to accept the audit. I need a motion to accept the audit.
I make a motion to accept the audit.
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
I would just like to note that this audit is not a forensic audit. This is an audit which is a very, very basic accounting audit, which does not account for legality or any kind of forensic audit. This is very literally A plus B equals C type of an audit. So the standard audit for accounting. So yes, I would approve this.
And I have to say, the timing for this audit couldn't have been better. With a new change in administration, new boards, new, pens that are being put to paper here, I think that it was important that you had the opportunities to work with Brown and Company to produce this and help us to, get the way forward.
Thank you very much. Any other discussion? Can I get a roll call, please?
Shay?
Yes.
Lawrence? Yes. Victor? Chapman?
Yes.
Bledsoe?
Okay, I'd like to get a motion to approve the 2018 township tax levy. And I think I should probably, either me or the clerk could read the figure, just so that we have that. Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
Right after that.
Right after that, okay. Of $1,558,000, which would be a 5% decrease in the levy. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
So, seconded.
Just so everyone understands, road district audit was passed at the last meeting.
Budget or levy.
Levy, I'm sorry. Levy was passed at the last meeting, and this is for the town fund and the general assistance. And we have a motion, right? Or
And a second.
okay, great. So any discussion?
I would just like to commend you on cutting the tax levy 5% when, in a time when, many people are being taxed out of their homes. And while there is a huge campaign in this county going on to cut taxes, even Jack Franks in the county board has been pushing for municipalities to cut their taxes. I think it's commendable that you figured out a way to cut 5%. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Roll call, please.
Shay?
Yeah.
Lawrence?
Yes.
Victor? Chapman?
Yes.
Bledsoe?
Yes. Okay, the request from trustee Chapman to become a delegate to the first McHenry County Conservation District Congress.
The second time.
Oh, that's first of mine.
Well, sorry about that.
Okay, the second McHenry County Conservation District must be a delegate. And I just want to say that, I guess we can entertain a motion, but I appreciate you stepping up to the plate and doing this extra work on behalf of the township. So if we can get a motion to appoint trustee Dave Chapman as a delegate, that'd be great.
I'd be more than happy to make the motion.
Okay, I don't think we need a roll call, we just do a voice vote. Voice vote? Aye. Okay, thank you very much. All right, okay, I skipped over, did I skip over a couple?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Social media.
Okay, I did, it was very small print. I actually brought my glasses. Anyways, so another thing, trustee Chapman brought up is, I believe he came from the Toya, but he talked about, township officials of Illinois, actually, to be more specific. He wanted to have a discussion regarding social media. And he had some tips on, Facebook and texting, and every one of the trustees got an email, a packet, on that, and, I guess you want to have some discussion with that, regarding that?
Well, I think it's only appropriate with the fact that social media is prevalent. It's the number one mode of communication in our township right now. And the information that was in your packets and came from the training that I attended was that this is going to be critical. Whether we allow things to just happen willy-nilly and have individuals speaking, or whether we get together as a township and have a township space where we address and answer back our residents and use it as another tool of communication. So what I'd like to do is just give you time to read over that information, and then I'd like to come up with some type of a plan in January or February to put together a social media plan and packet for a policy for things for us to do moving forward to give us a better platform out there to meet with our public.
As long as it don't cost.
Yeah.
You're out of order. So I'm going to nominate Mr. Shea to be the social media monitor for the township. Can I get a motion?
Yes, I have motion.
The best idea is stay off. Enjoy life. meditate. All right. Anyways, since there's no one accepted that motion, we will move on to building lock upgrade discussion. Tyco International. We've had, as you know, the township is using a system that is antiquated at best to get in and out of the building. Okay, and we started this where we changed a bunch of locks. We had all kinds of issues with the locks, and a lot of them don't work, or they have programs for groups come into the building to use it. It's very antiquated. So I did not want to go ahead and just spend money without getting input from the board, because it's a lot of money. Okay, and so anyways, what I did originally is we started talking. I think it started with the clerk and myself talking about getting in and out of the building more efficiently, as well as the groups here that come before us. All the groups that come in at night. We're not the only people that use the building. We're looking for a more efficient way to have people have access to the building, as well as we can track who comes in and out of the building. So I believe Ryan and myself met with Tyco. In fact, I first called one of the mayors in the town and asked them who they were using. They were using Tyco, which is, and then Mr. Chapman did a lot of research on Tyco for the as well. And so we have a proposal. It sounds outrageous when you hear it, but to key card this entire building and change the locks, it is $63,115.42. Okay, and now this went through what they call NJPA award contract. So it's not something. It's something that's a bidding process. So it's not like we just pick one company. This is a bidding process. Both the township attorney as well as the township trustee Chapman both did a ton of research on it. And yes, you did too. Did a ton of research on whether this is a good bidding process, and they came to that. And then Trustee Lawrence stepped in, and she also has her husband, who was in the security business, also kind of helped us and went through this. And so it's something that, in order to bring the buildings up to the 21st century, we're going to have to do it. This doesn't even, I mean, if we want to bring it up to 21st century, we're going to have to do it. Doesn't include even the back buildings. Okay? The back buildings is something that the highway commissioner would like to do in conjunction or at a different meeting, but something that I think before we pass something. Now, one of the costs, labor is a very large part of this cost, and then so I just thought that before we spend that kind of money, we present it to the board. I think everyone's looked at this. I've got feedback, but I just want to make sure if it's something that you want to do, because no, it's not like I'm buying a pencil. It's an expensive item.
It's a nice system. Everybody that needs to have access will get an electronic fob, which will then work on the door. It will record to the server whose key fob was and who came in the building, what time. $63,000 could very easily be consumed in one wrong visit. There were so many keys out for this facility in this township. It was ridiculous, guys. And really, we researched also grants. There were federal grants at times that were available from Homeland Security. They weren't available at this time, but I think that this was a well-vetted program and project, and it's way over.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to meet with Mr. George Hamilton, who was nice enough to meet with me for almost an hour, maybe even more, and to go through in detail all of my concerns. Because when I saw this, I had sticker shock at the $63,000 bill. But after sitting down with him for quite a long time, and he was very patient and explained to me all of the details, the plan, the layout, the blueprint, the 23, he answered every single question of mine in detail. And considering there are 23 different access points that need securing in this building, I think that this is, he went through everything, every single detail of the materials that were used. I want you to know, you might mention this a little bit, but I want to break it down for the public and for those people who are watching at home and for the board as well, that the actual products only total about $14,115.59. The NJPA prevailing wage installation labor is what totals $26,180.37, and then sourced goods was $22,819.46. Now, the locks that we had previously were not wired, so that's a huge expense. That's a big part of this expense is wiring this entire building and all of these 23 access points in this premises. Well, I shouldn't say premises, I should say this building. And so that's what comes up to the $63,115.42. Now the benefits to having this are profound. Not only do we have to not deal with the multiple failures that we've had with the current lock systems that I've heard about since May, this is also a state-of-the-art system. This is something that's going to last for a very long time. This is something, this company and this type of security system is used by airports, police stations, this is government buildings. This is a standard, very good, high quality, high caliber, industrial. Yeah. So I do approve, despite the sticker shock, the initial sticker shock. I haven't had it explained to me, and I do understand, and I encourage our fellow board members to vote for it. So.
Do you have the money in your budget?
Yes, we do. I don't have it in my wallet, but I got it in the budget. Okay. So I would entertain a motion to pass. Okay. Okay, second. Oh, I'm sorry. Roll, discussion, sir?
Yeah, I think this is outrageous, this kind of money. And what's really egregious about this is it's kind of, if they want essentially $4,500 plus almost $4,600 a year for annual service and whatever cost. It's almost like if someone gives you a free horse, the horse don't cost much. It's feeding it constantly to cost. So personally, I would not approve of it. I think there must be a way of just setting a regular lock system that would be an updating of what we have, far less money.
Thank you very much. And I have a wife that owns a horse. Anyways, so we have a motion to pass. I would like a roll call.
Shay,
No,
Lawrence,
Yes.
Victor,
Yeah.
Chapman,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes. Motion passes for the TIGO integrated security system. Okay. Where are we at? Okay. This is a special time. As you know, we were elected 6 months ago to this office. We didn't realize, I don't think we had such a big crowd and so many controversies, but we're doing our best to work our way out of it. But there's a quirk in the law in which the assessor is elected at the same time as the trustees and the supervisors are, but they don't start. New assessor, who was Rich Alexander, was in the back there, and he doesn't start until January. We told him first but he says he's not working on the first. I don't know why. But anyway, he's gonna work on it. He's gonna start in the second, he said. But we've had a real good friend of mine. He's been with the township for years. There's no truth or rumor. They've been here since the township started. But he's a man of character, man of quality, good friend of mine. Bob Coons has been our assessor for over 30 years. And we had a little cake meeting, and the other day, celebrating that he's going to be leaving the township.
Celebrating
What? Just kidding, yeah. All right, no, we had a party for him the other day. It was a great party, and he's done a fantastic job. He's truly a public servant. He's like I said, just a good friend, and he's going to be leaving the township in December 31st, and we got him a little gift here. And basically,
I'm sure you would like cash, but you probably got something else.
this is a new administration. We're not going there. Okay? But Algonquin Township presents Robert R. Cook Jr. in recognition and appreciation of his years of outstanding and dedicated service to Algonquin Township and its residents. He was assessor from 1978 and still is in 2017. Our sincere thanks from the supervisor and all the trustees. December 2017.
Wow,
Thank you very much.
When I started here, I was 20 years old. I was nominated at the age of 25, and I've served since then. There's one person in this room that well recalls the circumstances of my election. That happens to be the man taking the pictures of it. And I will say that if you think things are a little contentious right now, I can tell you they were very contentious back there between 71 and about 78. And there is a clear sky somewhere on the horizon. So I can assure you that I'm honored to have served here, and actually I'm not leaving the township. I plan to stay in the township. Maybe I will be out there.
We're not going to do one of those cards, though. You're always welcome.
So I appreciate the recognition, and I appreciate the confidence of the electors of Algonquin Township. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We had a number of our trustees and some staff attend the Township Officials of Illinois conference in Springfield. It is absolutely true. None of them bought $13 martinis or anything like that, or charging to the township, I should say. I don't know what they bought, but they charged the township. So anyway, we would love to get a report from any of the trustees that would like to discuss, or the township attorney also was one of the featured speakers at the Township Officials of Illinois in Springfield. If anyone would like to add a report or add anything, we'd be happy to hear from them.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it was great. Listen, it was weird to have it Monday and Sunday and a Monday sort of convention, but the training was good. There was an opportunity to meet a bunch of vendors and things that offer services to townships around Illinois. It was a chance for us to share stories with other trustees and see how things are going in their townships. They had road commissioner meetings, clerk meetings, trustees, and there was training at each different level. There was Townships 101 for those of us that were new. It was very beneficial. We talked about technology in the township, but coming into the 21st century, like Karen's done with the camera and things with getting that stuff online, and Andrew's putting his bills online, and we'll be doing a lot more of that as we go further into the digital age. And there were classes and training about that. Our village attorney, I have to say, one of the classes was, ask a lawyer, and, there was no charge. So the room was full, as you can well believe. But seriously, a panel of, with 4 attorneys, 5 attorneys, and Jim is very well respected. Every one of those attorneys, looked to him for confirmation and affirmation. So I just, thank you. That was a very interesting party. Everybody could ask whatever questions they wanted. So I encourage everybody to come down. It's a very good training, and it was well worth your tax dollars. I can tell you, we'll be putting those things that we learned into action.
Any other discussion?
I'd say one thing. I think one of the best benefits.
I was giving the trustees priority over there. Okay.
One of the best benefits, I think, is when I go down there, I get to interact with a lot of the township officials from southern Illinois, and it is radically different than their experience than what we do up here in northern Illinois. I'll have, for example, road districts with maybe 90 miles of road, but all 90 miles of those roads are gravel, whereas in Township, you have most of our roads are paved, if not all of them. I don't know, Mr. Gasser, unpaved roads.
Yeah.
But generally, it's a really different set of problems. Although this time we didn't get the range of questions we got, we learned about how some townships down the state are looking at actually creating medical centers, which township has the ability to do because they have absolutely no support, medical support down in the township or the area, 4, 5, or 6 townships per county. And they look at pooling supports and how to do that lawfully. Those are issues that we never see up here. Obviously, because we have more hospitals deal with them. We'll start closing down.
Yeah, there's been a huge outflow of private practice doctors down in southern Illinois.
So I mean, I think that's one.
Thank you. Thank you for attending. Anybody else? Okay. We have section 125, establishment of a section 125 cafeteria plan. As you know, health insurance is not cheap, and we have employees that are covered under a health insurance plan. And I think kind of was my idea. That's why I give a little credit for myself. But some of the employees pay out of pocket for their spouses, their children. They have to contribute to the health insurance. So we're going to officially adopt section 125, which is basically the Internal Revenue Code, which basically allows them, they're the contributions that they're paying for their own, out of their own pocket, and their spouses and employees' own pocket, they can pay it with pre-tax dollars. Doesn't cost the township any more money, but it does provide savings for all our employees, and it's something that we have to adopt a resolution, and because we have to change our health plan, as you know, at the beginning of January is when our new health plan goes into effect. So they'll be able to use pre-tax dollars to contribute towards their dependent coverage. Right? It's a plus, it's a win-win for the employees, it's a win-win for the township. And I would ask that we pass a resolution of the Algonquin Township authorizing the establishment of section 125 plan for the employees.
I move the adoption of that motion.
I think it does kind of, yes, go ahead. Discussion.
Oh, what I want to know is, as a courtesy to the employees, has it been explained and discussed with them?
We are in the process of doing that because we first started talking to them about some of the changes. Not all the plans that were offered in 2017 are offered, next year. So, we started the process. We're educating them on the process and on this advantage. So we started that. It's just kind of been, we're working on that. To answer your question. Okay. Any other discussion? Only reason is it kind of involves money, even though, so I think we should have a roll call. Roll call, please.
Shay,
Yes.
Lawrence, yes, Victor,
Well, they're paying, their check would be, they would be using pre-tax dollars to pay their
Right.
contribution towards,
Right, got it.
okay?
I just wanna make sure.
It's not costing the township any money. It just, so if you put $100 a month in the health plan, your tax bracket's
Yeah.
15%.
We do
They're
that.
gonna save $15 on there.
So thanks for the FSA.
Yeah.
Yes,
No problem.
Chapman?
Yes.
What's up?
Yes. I don't believe any reason to go into executive session. Could I get a motion to any other business before the board?
I actually.
Okay.
I just wanted to address, I'm happy about the tax levy cut. It's great that you worked that out. But, one thing that I did learn during the township conference is that when you cut levies, you cut services. So are there any services that you're cutting by cutting the levy?
We haven't cut any of our services. Actually, we've improved. The one that was really focused on most was our recycling program. And by working with McHenry County Conservation District and then also McHenry County Environmental Defenders, we've actually improved not only when people come into our township to recycle on weekends, the traffic flow pattern now, I've talked about it a few times, but it's incredibly, so much more quicker, number one. But number two, we also take styrofoam now, which we didn't do before. And we were the first township in McHenry County to start that program back up. So I'm really thankful for that. The bus services hasn't been, nope, we haven't touched bus at all. It's still going strong.
And
We
the
have
new levy, there won't be any of that.
not at all,
Okay.
not at all.
And that applies to our levy cut.
Okay, I just want to make sure that normally.
Any other?
Are we going around and,
Go ahead.
Are we doing, I noticed trustee reports are not on this.
Right.
So do we, is this
Right.
the section where we do that?
No, we gotta focus on the people, so go.
Right,
Okay,
actually,
well,
you
the
go
other
right
business
ahead.
before the board, I do have other business.
Go ahead.
I do have some concerns, that have been brought to my attention that I promised I would bring before the board. The first of which is that agendas have not been posted on the website. The last one was in October. Minutes have not been posted on the website since September. Minutes for the November meeting were not emailed to board members until actually 2 hours and 20 minutes prior to this meeting at 4:40 p.m. today. Bills, I know that you guys are busy and it took a while for you guys at the supervisor's office to get all the bills together and the work that entails. However, receiving them today, this afternoon, within a few hours, at 3:47 this afternoon, does not give us as trustees enough time to fully audit these bills. There are hundreds of bills between 4 different funds that we, us 4 trustees, well, 5 of us consist of the board, and we need more than 2.5 hours to fully audit all of these hundreds of bills. So please, I suggested it before and I'll suggest it again. Please let us have a cutoff date for submitting bills for consideration at meetings. The other things that I had is, I think they give them the trouble, and this is not personal at all, but it's become clear that there has been some difficulty with Algonquin Township responding and complying with the FOIA requirements, FOIA being the Freedom of Information Act. And I think that that's clear not only through some unwanted publicity that we've incurred in the past few weeks, but also I can see it in Attorney Kelly's bills. I can see it in responses that Attorney Kelly has become involved in FOIAs, which are he should not be involved in. I believe that documents, especially with considering the extreme scrutiny that our township is under right now, considering the situation ongoing with the previous administration, I believe that it's extremely important that our township puts all of our effort into being completely above board with following every single rule, every single Open Meetings Act and Freedom of Information Act laws. So that documents are not only available to the public and that they don't have to wait months for them, but also available to board members as well. I personally have had a document request in from October that I still have not received. And it would be, I'm sorry. And I'm still having the same problem based on the involvement, okay, so I already described how the Attorney General's office and some negative publicity is involved, internet watchdog websites, not to mention the numerous line items on Attorney Kelly's bills, which specifically pertain to FOIAs, which our attorney, we do not pay our attorney to submit and complete Freedom of Information Act requests.
Okay, I think we got it.
Okay, anything else?
That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much.
I have
Okay, let me first, excuse me?
Yeah.
Trustee Shay, our social media director.
Yes.
Wanted to wish everyone a merry, everybody a happy holiday.
And Merry Christmas.
Indeed.
Okay.
Before we adjourn, can I just say, Rachel, I respect what you said about the FOIAs and all
Point of
that,
order,
but
is there
wait.
something related to
Yeah.
township business
that's
here?
related to township business is that I think that we need to have everything in order, including all of our line items and all of our budgets in order too. So I think that we need to have, one can't say that you can't have this, but you can have this. Everything needs to be in order, not just one thing. You can't pick and choose one thing and not another.
I agree.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Victor, and I agree that, we've come somewhat of a long way in 6 months. I don't think any expected this to be, the situation, but, thank you for your input. Thank you for your input. Okay. Trustee Chairman?
Sure. What was I gonna say? February 8th, it's my intention, I've asked to reserve a big room, to have down here a discussion about townships, consolidation, and township information. I've put together a group of panelists that I think will be impressive, both for and against the reasons of support. And I look forward to being able to announce that lineup at our next meeting. And while we all, okay, no, that's all right. While we all had the same thoughts, especially today, getting our packets late, what I've advanced to Supervisor Lutzow and Ryan was a thought about moving our meetings to the third Wednesday, or some other way of extending to make it easier to where we can get the bills all in time and we can have time to look at them. I don't know that that's a feasible way, and I understand why it might not be. But those are the kind of things that we're going to need to look at as to how we can be efficient. And I don't want to say that the last board was tough and they were passing things maybe without being able to fully look at them because you didn't have time. And I need to have time to look at every line item.
Yeah.
Thank you. One of the things that, just to address that very quickly, and one of the things we're going to look at is the calendar. We would not, obviously, for example, in a December meeting, landed the way it landed today, we sure wouldn't want to have this meeting December 20th, because we wouldn't get such a nice crowd here. Okay? But maybe a couple meetings, for example, if a Wednesday came on the first of the month, and then maybe a couple, we're going to look into that, and we're going to make sure we notify the clerk because she has to post the meetings. But maybe a couple meetings that when the Wednesday falls on the first of the month makes it very difficult for us. Like last month was kind of hectic because of that situation. So when a Wednesday lands on the first or second of the month, we might consider 1 or 2 months throughout the year to make it that way. Right. But we already have that as a work project that we're already working on. So I think with that said, I'd like to see if I can get a motion to
I
adjourn.
make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
All in favor?
All in favor? All right, thank you all for coming tonight.